Oops. I just pulled my webcam down. Does it still work? Just a second. Yeah, it still works. What up? I'll pull this up. Shut up. Okay, let's see. Oldest. Actually, new. Let's go back to newest. Go back to newest. Go back to newest. Look at these guides. Like, these videos, comparatively, didn't get shit for views. Like, this one got a lot. But a lot of these other guides, like, nobody gave a fuck, man. Nobody gave a fuck on how to farm stuff out. Okay? Like, I was so mad, man. I was furious. And I wanted to make guides on how to kill these different bosses, etc. But it's like how to craft the belt. Nobody gave a fuck, man. Let's see. Where's somebody efficiently farm nourishment? That 200k, that's actually pretty good. This is kind of more of a joke video. A lot of these videos here, the best places to farm love charms. Look at this. Remember this video?
What's up, y'all? It's me. It's your boy Asmongold, and today I wanted to show you guys some of the...
Look at this, dude. I remember this. This was great. Look at that, man. Me and McConnell on the boat. Those were the old fucking days. Those was a long goddamn fucking time ago. And now look at it. Holy shit, man. 41,000 views. 41 fucking thousand views. Glory of the Legion Raider Achievement Guide. 100,000 views. Mythic Plus. Look at this. Mythic Plus tips and tricks.
What's up, y'all? It's me.
This is like how to fucking play the game. These are guides on like this is how to do Mythic Plus. It has 60,000 views. Nobody gave a fuck about this. It's so frustrating to me.
It would have been, say, Mr. Pandaria time, which is when a lot of people were looking at challenge modes and raiding and things like that.
Absolutely.
And in fact, the circle seems so small now that the guys who are left are the guys who are more detached from gameplay than ever before.
Detached from reality.
Which is a really bad situation to be in unless you want your game to essentially become
level 34.
Now, I want to be clear on this. I have no issue with the guys who are really interested in the cosmetic elements of the game. In fact, it's an area I wish they would push much further.
They should do that. Cosmetic gameplay is important, but I look at Classic, for example, and 54, I mean. I look at Classic, for example, and it's just so much more fulfilling to actually get gear that makes your character better. Like, I care about getting cosmetics in retail, wow, yeah, but I care a lot more about getting cool gear in Classic. 100k equals no views. There's actually a lot of views. No, Drelnar, I'm not comparing it to... it's not 100k to 0. It's 100k in relation to the other videos about different subjects. Come on.
But you can't just have a game where the gameplay is just disappearing and eroding and disappearing, which is where we're at right now, at least in my opinion. Because ultimately these guys are going to be left farming transmog in older content. And new content is really irrelevant because these guys aren't really going to touch it until it becomes older content.
That's right.
So essentially, and we do know this happens, and I have members of my community who don't do the current expansion at all.
What?
They don't do it. What they do, the way they play World of Warcraft, is they do the previous expansion with the new level cap. So they will buy BFA, they will level to 120, and then they'll start playing Legion. That's how they work their game. They do daily quests in the current expansion to get very powerful gear, well beyond their means, and then they go and do previous content, and they get transmog and stuff from that, and that's how they play the game now, and we seem to have an increasing amount of people doing that. When it comes to what I'm hoping for BlizzCon, it's not a specific change, and that's what a lot of people come to me with, is like, what specific change would you like? So, like, Master Loot, something like that to be changed. Would you change anything about the benthic corrupted Titanforge system? Would you change anything about this specific system? And my answer now wouldn't be that. My answer would be just be simplicity. The systems need to be simple because we don't need all this bloat. We talked about button bloat. Well, if you compare it to the systems bloat that's in place, and the amount of confusion in the community this is causing is really obscene.
Well, nobody knows. This is the thing. Like, I will ask for advice on how to, like, do something in retail WoW, and everybody will have a different answer. They're like, oh, no, you gotta do it this way. No, you gotta do it that way. No, actually... And, you know, everybody's gonna go in there and, you know, they've all got their own fucking ideas on how they want to handle it. To me, To me, it's like, yeah, I'm fine with all of this complication. Like, if I have to read a fucking book, where's my strategy guide? Where's my Brady Games fucking World of Warcraft strategy guide? I don't even know where the fuck it is. But if I have to read a goddamn book to be able to learn how to play a game, I better get something at the end of that book. And the problem with Retail WoW is you read the whole book, you get your PhD in benthic gear, and then you know what you get? The wrong piece. And somebody else, wow, is this good? Is this guy just got this? Is this good? And then it's this great fucking item. Like, that's the wrong, yeah, you get the wrong fucking piece. I have no problem with these systems. I like, you know, I would be happy if Blizzard took these systems and then they're like, you know what? Here's a new talent tree. Here's a new fucking system. Armor penetration, it's back in the game. Multi-strike, why the fuck not? Spell penetration, I don't know what that's going to do, but we're going to have that too. Like, you just add everything into the game and say, listen, here you go. But the raids, there's a lot of damage checks in those raids. And you've got to optimize your character to where you can actually beat those damage checks. And if you don't get the best gear in the game. And if you don't beat those raids, you don't get that gear. That's how it should be. Blizzard should give people motivation to rise to the challenge. Right now, they don't. There's no motivation to rise to the challenge of getting this badass gear. There's no way to get it. You have to give people the motivation. It's not there right now.
You can read through pretty much any post about any subject, and the amount of misinformation in there that's being spread, not being maliciously. I want to be clear on that. It's not malicious misinformation. It's simply a case of things change so rapidly and so vastly that people just can't keep up. So the knowledge they had 3 months ago, as far as they're concerned, should be pretty up to date. It's only 3 months old. Yeah. Yet it is out of date because of the nature of the game and how much it changes on an expansion by expansion basis. And certainly if they ever intend to bring back people of old, the millions of players who we do know now after the Classic launch are around and are very much alive and able to play video games, we kind of need to go back to a time when the game was fucking obvious to understand from the start.
It needs to be simple but complex. Like Classic WoW, there is complexity in the simplicity of Classic WoW. Now, I know that might sound weird, but there is a lot of complexity to the game in terms of like gearing and like, you know, the hit chance and everything like that. Now, it's not complex on the same level that Retail WoW is. Like Retail WoW is a lot more complex, but Classic WoW is not simply just getting your best gear and that's it. There is a little bit more to it. And I hope that Blizzard can realize that and they can understand and differentiate, because this is a problem that I think Blizzard has. Is it
Frostbolt?
Yeah.
Frostbolt.
Mm-hmm.
Frostbolt.
Yeah.
Frostbolt.
Okay.
Frostbolt.
True.
Frostbolt.
Yep.
Frostbolt.
Check
this out.
Okay.
Frostbolt.
Yep.
And Frostbolt into a Frostbolt.
Okay.
Into another Frostbolt. And finally, is going to throw you for a loop. Frostbolt.
You know what you call that? Top DPS. You're right. You're right. It's pretty simple, but there is a certain amount of complexity in the game. The complexity just doesn't come out of the rotations. Like organizing players, getting people to stand in different places. Like there is a complexity to Classic. Now, it's not even remotely on par with Retail WoW, but the complexity does exist to an extent.
Well, it's simple to understand, where systems didn't need like, hey, I've just got this thing. What do I do with it? Okay, let me go into my diatribe again about how this system works, and then, okay, there's another system in place. I've just unlocked this thing. What does this do? Which one of these do I want? Do I need to go farm honor now for some reason? Well, I don't like PvP. But I have
Too
to
bad,
do that
bitch.
now. Yeah, but
you
they
gotta
made
do
it easier because they chopped and changed it, so it's a little.
And that's what it should be. I want to say this right now. What Preacher's saying, complaining about, that's what it should be. If you want all the best gear in the game, you do everything in the game. If you want, I think PvP and PvE, if you want to be the best at PvE, I think there should be a few things you can do in PvP that might help you out a little bit. Vice versa, too. I think that's what makes the game good. That's what makes it fun. I play Classic WoW. I PvP to get really badass raid gear. And then you know what I do with my raid gear? I fucking go into Warsong Gulch and I kill people with it. And it's awesome. That's the whole reason. Why the fuck do you think people care about killing Rag every week? Do you think they give a fuck about these other pieces of gear? No, they want to get Bone Reaver's Edge. They want to get their best weapon. What the hell are they going to do with their best weapon? Put it on raid bots, raid logs? No, fuck that. Nobody gives a shit about that. Like, oh yeah, wow, my fucking, my sim DPS, my logs show that I'm doing a lot of damage with my 3-button class. Who gives a fuck? It's about PvP. People raid for PvP gear. That's the whole fucking purpose of it. Like, nobody gives a shit about that. Like the raid bots, everything. No, not true. It is completely true. Because here's the thing, guys. You guys have probably never parsed at like a high level before. Like I did this in a number of different patches. If you parse at a high level before, you have to be able to do it with the cooperation of your raid. So for example, if you want to be able to parse on a number of bosses, your raid has to allow you to be the primary damage dealer to certain different mobs, or to not AoE down certain mobs. So for General Nazgrim, for example, I remember back in Siege of Orgrimmar, you would try to convince your raid not to AoE down the other mobs that were with General Nazgrim. I think they're called like Orgrimmar Faithfuls or something like that. And you would allow that, you would basically be the only person AoEing them down, which would pad your meter way more than anybody else's. On top of that, like let's get another example. I have Siege of Orgrimmar. I parsed a lot back then, so I remember. Immersius. Why did I never get a good Immersius parse? Because my raid would never agree to let me be the sole person that's AoEing down all of the ads. Because if you were the only person that's AoEing down all of the ads, you are doing a ton of fucking damage. You are killing all of the ads. And in order for, if everybody AoEs down the ads, nobody will parse. And so the way you do parses is you pick 1 or 2 people to parse and you assign them the responsibilities that will yield the most damage. And that's the way it works. It's just common sense. It's like you let somebody attack through defensive stance on General Nazgrim. Same thing. It's... You can't AoE them all down. Oh, what the fuck? They spread out? Well, no, because you have the raid grouped up. Like, you have the raid grouped up, and you let that happen, right? What is parses? Who cares about parsing? And then also, so, like, for classic parses, you're waiting on cooldowns that are half an hour long. So, realistically, you're not going to have every parse with all warriors with recklessness. So, parsing in the different fights doesn't fucking matter. It doesn't fucking matter, like 90% of the time, unless you're doing like a single target fight like Helya or something like that on progression. Like after, I think probably 2 months after progression, parsing no longer matters because it's based off of the voluntary cooperation of the rest of your raid. Parsing on progression and on the first few weeks of clear and farm content, that's badass. But everything beyond that, it's not as big of a deal. Cheesing parses, yeah, of course.
Bit simpler now, but yes, ultimately you still need to go and do this content. It's like, well, I don't want to. It's like, well, chores are the name of the game.
Chores,
and that's
it's
what
about
I'm hoping
right.
to see realistically from the next expansion isn't the setting, because a lot of people ask me like, what about the Shadowlands? What about this and that? And I was really happy to see the Reddit thread that compiled all the leaks into how many different expansions. Was it 30 plus? There are apparently going to be 30 plus WoW expansions based on all the fanfiction leaks.
Well, at least the game won't die.
Over the last few months about what the next expansion will be. I don't care really about the setting. If it's a good setting, I'm happy. Sure, I'm happy. But what I care about is the gameplay. That's why I play the game, to enjoy the gameplay. And that's what I'm hoping to see, is a real simplicity added to it. A nice set-in-stone system that you should be able to pretty much understand by just looking and reading the tooltips of your character. You should be able to figure out where to go and do things and how your character works based on looking at your character. It shouldn't take more than that. It really shouldn't take people like me. I can be here to expand upon it and show you the finer details. And I would also say that we shouldn't need specialists writing massive in-depth guides on a very regular basis, because each patch pretty much changes how classes work. Which in and of itself, we've not even talked about that in this little ramble of mine, is obscene. Is that every time a new 0.2, 0.3, 0.4, 0.4, 0.5, whatever it might be that comes out, needs a new big blog post in order to explain the changes that have come with your character, as we're seeing come up here. Balancing always happens. That's fine, right? Some classes are going to get buffed, some classes are going to get nerfed.
I'm fine with some changes like this, though,
and
personally.
it's kind of a byproduct of having so many systems on each character that a minor change at the fundamental level, like a slight buff of a certain spell, well, that rocks into changing your Azerite and how that works, because you're now more focused on a different spell, and that then stampedes into your
you have the butterfly effect.
Choices,
that's a good point.
Now focused on a spell that works differently, and now you're going to have to change your corruption, because maybe it's not crit damage you want, maybe you want more haste now, and it filters down through all these systems, right? So you put this sort of droplet in the top, which is like, oh, monks might need a slight buff to, say, renewing mist or soothing mist, and it just goes ping, and the ripple effect is like a casino machine. When you put the coin in the top and it just goes, and out the bottom pours all this stuff from this one simple coin that you put in the top, and how it reverberates through the entire system upon system upon system upon system.
It's the butterfly effect. It's simple.
Meaning that each patch, simple little buffs and nerfs, have dramatic effects on characters to the point where people just suddenly find themselves like, oh, I've got to like re-enchant, I need to swap all my essences, I need to rethink my talent choices, I need to rethink how I'm focusing my gearing efforts going forward. In fact, my entire stat weights have changed, and all this has happened because they just went, oh, monks should heal a bit more, you know? Things along those lines is what shouldn't be happening. It shouldn't be happening, right? That shouldn't be the way it goes. It's like, I need different Azerite armor now. I need to rethink my gemming. I need to suddenly go to the auction house and just buy a load of shit because it's all changed. And I see increasingly, certainly when I talk to ex-players of World of Warcraft, that this is increasingly becoming a problem. And we could talk about the daily chores, and I know I spoke about it recently in a video, is how many people are so tired of, like, I have a couple of hours to play a night.
And you already know what you're going to spend your time doing.
Either 50% or 100% of that time taken up by doing my daily chores in order to keep up.
You know how much daily chores I have for this fucking game? I have so goddamn many of them. I put them on a fucking whiteboard. Look at that. Read that shit. Najdatar on Horde, Mechagon, Arachnid Harvester, Garden for your garrison. That's to get the items. Blacksmithing, daily crafting. That's for my lightning steel ingots. Kufan, I got that one actually. Direhorn Horde, Seething Shore, Najdatar, Battle for Najdatar. Those are the times that it's going to be available, right? And that's it's only like a partial list. It's only a partial fucking list. And that's what I've got. I literally have it all written on a whiteboard. I have more organization for my in-game activities than I do for my real life. This is a full-time job. I spend more time organizing that than people do for their fucking lives. It's insane, man. And that list should be longer, too. By the way, like, that's not even counting, like, all the transmog gear I need to farm, doing Sea of the Triumvirate. I have Sea of the Triumvirate? No, I don't have it on there for doing the extra toy. Have to do it on Heroic for my extra characters. There's, like, 20 fucking things I need to do. This is your job? Trust me, before I streamed, I played it like that, too.
I would rather it be I log in and do something I want to do.
Yeah.
And I know there'll be people that's like, well, just do that. But the reality of the situation is...
You feel like you're setting yourself back.
In early game. And start farming reputation for Champions of Azeroth, or on about, or to get your AP levels up so you can actually use your Azeroth armor. If you don't log in, do daily quests, world quests, and island expeditions, with that limited time you have to play, then you're just falling further and further behind, and you very quickly end up in the scenario I know many of you did, which is where you're getting Azerite armor that just doesn't work. It's just you can't activate anything on it, or you're just unable to unlock the heart, or you're hoping for some catch-up quest to eventually arrive, and until then you've got some sort of scuffed character that's rolling around with you, and all these kind of things. And you want your neck upgrade, but I literally just have to do daily quests over and over again. But I don't want to do that with my time. I want to rock some BGs, I want to do a couple of dungeons with my friends, maybe I want to dedicate a night to raiding, but what I can't do is do a night of raiding, add a couple of hours in order to do the preparation. That is another big problem that I hope goes away. So that's where I'm at going into BlizzCon. A little bit of a ramble there and a lot of things. It's not really specific and to the point like most videos that I do, which is like, this is the focus of this video. It's more a general feeling of looking around at just how many people are utterly confused with a lot of the things that have changed in the game. And then when you really think about it,
it's confusing.
Like
That's why they're confused.
And every single patch changes quite a lot of things or adds a brand new system. And players
it's the whole
just
reason.
I haven't got all day to sit and read forums, and I shouldn't have to. I haven't got all day to keep a day-to-day, up-to-date log of every change that Blizzard makes and read in detail these massive, lengthy posts. Or watch every single video that somebody puts out from whoever, and watch streams. I can't dedicate
why not?
7-8 hours hours of the day to trying to keep up with.
Just watch my
everything
stream,
that's
man.
happening
Come
in
on.
WoW. I want it to be nice and simple, and if I do have time to ask a question, I want someone to explain it to me in a very simple way. So that's one of the big things that I'm hoping for out of the next expansion, and certainly hoping that BlizzCon reveals something along that side with that. One of the biggest horrors I could see of the new expansion is them announcing again what I would really not like to see on the stage when BlizzCon or whenever they announce the next expansion, if it is at BlizzCon or somewhere else, is that they go, and now we have a brand new system because we're taking away Azerite armor. Now we've got artificial Zerite system, which
artificial Zerite? Don't give them any ideas.
You're going to be able to go and farm.
Don't give them any ideas.
This, but we've time gated it, and just come up with another ludicrous system to replace the current system. What I'd like to see is we're going to simplify this shit. We're going to simplify it down.
Really? Wow.
Right,
that'd be nice.
We'll see you again. Bye bye.
Well, how about that? They just make it simpler. That'd be crazy. Okay. I actually think this is a really, really well done video. I think that honestly, I like watching those types of videos because I can pause them and I feel like I'm having like a conversation with Preach and I'm talking with you guys. I love the ramble videos. I think they're probably some of my favorite videos to react to because I can just sit there and talk about them. I like that a lot. Now, I want to address one thing. I want to watch one other video, but I'm not going to do that right now because something actually did happen. Let me just pull it up so I don't forget. And where the fuck is it? Watch